What is going on, my knights of the virtual StreamYard table?
Wow.
I just finished the first meal I've ever seen trending on TikTok that was worth every ounce of the hype that I see it getting on TikTok.
Wow.
Let me guess. It's the New York steak with a hole cut in the middle, and you put the egg still in the eggshell in the middle of there.
Yes.
Or
that was it.
Or is it the one where you cut out the salmon bit and put that salmon bit into the hole, and then take the hole that you cut of the steak and put it into the salmon?
No, it was the one where you make macaroni, but you put it in one of those weird metal like disposable pans, and you just throw way too many like superfluous ingredients in, and you cook it all at once, and it comes out looking like you didn't cook it at all.
That sounds lovely. You're right. That does sound really good.
No, it was the Anthony Bourdain mortadella and provolone sandwich. Very, very simple sandwich. Absolutely delicious. We got on to record, and I didn't know my mic was unmuted, and Justin and Danny got to hear me making a lot of. I was basically making love to my sandwich, and they got to hear it.
Audibles like yum.
I think it's funny too, because I genuinely for a moment thought you were making those noises for me and Danny.
No, yeah.
And come to know it, like if we were there, you would have been making those noises regardless.
Yeah.
What is I love sandwiches. What is everyone's favorite sandwich?
Now it's the one I just ate.
Yeah. Definitely a banh mi. I think I've said this, a banh mi in general. I don't know if my favorite banh mi is the banh mi that you showed me in Chicago.
Really?
The banh mi.
That's not really that's not a banh mi though.
Yeah, it's like that whole combination is fantastic. But I don't know if that's my favorite like
sandwich.
It's in the style of a banh mi because it's definitely sorry. So Justin he introduced me to this sandwich, and you can tell more about it. I don't even know the name of the place it's from.
I was gonna say this is my favorite sandwich that I think I've ever had.
So I'll let you talk about it then. But my favorite sandwich is a banh mi. Specifically, I think it's like Nick, you know that pho place in Greenfield? It's like pho 79 or something. It's pho and there's a number after it.
Oh yeah,
Yes, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
That's my favorite banh mi from there.
I always want pho. I want every pho place to have one of those like really kitschy, punny names. Like
yes, they have to. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Pho King is the
it's
up there.
Yeah,
it's classic.
Fucking,
yeah, it's classic.
There's one fuck alley.
Yeah, one of my favorite. I saw one that was "Forget About It."
That's a good one too.
That's good.
That's so. Speaking of pho puns, this place has my favorite sandwich. Is called Fodega, which is it's another great pun name. But it's got a sandwich called the Viet Dip, which is like a French dip sandwich, but the meat is like a more Vietnamese style, like thin sliced beef, and then you've got raw onions, jalapenos, and like a mayo sandwich. But instead of au jus that you dip it into, it's basically just pho that you're dipping your sandwich into.
And they load the sandwich with more meat than a typical banh mi.
Yes, it's like mostly meat. But so that's why I'm saying it's more similar to a French dip than it is to. It's like a French dip and a banh mi.
Dude, it's so good though.
It's a great sandwich. I've also been on a quest. There was a Chicago local news that put out the best 10 breakfast sandwiches in Chicago, and I've tried 9 of the 10 breakfast sandwiches in Chicago. And I've got some thoughts on which of those 10 are the best. So come to Chicago and I'll take you on a breakfast sandwich tour.
Oh my god!
Yeah, wait to see the essay in our Discord.
There is before this sandwich that I just ate, my favorite sandwich I've ever had is there's this health food store at the corner of Broadway and Steinway in Astoria, Queens, that has like the best breakfast sandwich I've ever had. There's no way that breakfast sandwich is actually healthy, despite the fact that it's a health food store, but it's delicious. Like that place was like bonkers. I remember one time I went in, everything was normal. I went in, I like got a couple of things. I got my sandwich. I walk out and someone had set up a square of hay, and there was just a donkey standing in the middle of this hay. in the middle of Queens.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Speaking of that, Nick, favorite sandwich?
In New Orleans, it was like Sky and I were going there for a trip one time and we're doing research. I found some like it was Anthony Bourdain's like first TV series. I forget what it was called. It was not No Reservations, just before that. And one of the first specials he did was in New Orleans, and he went to this place called the Verde Mart, and it is this run down like hole in the wall in like the most like stereotypical sense of the term, like kind of dirty. The sign is peeling. When you go inside, there is just significantly too much merchandise. Like it's a mart, like, you know, a quick mart, like there's a lot of snacks and stuff, but in the back there's also a deli.
I know where you're going. Yep, I know exactly. Yep, I've been to this exact spot.
In the deli is one of the best sandwiches I've ever had in my entire life. They do specialty like sandwiches on 12-inch French bread, and it was Ernie's Powerhouse sandwich. Just looked it up. It's grilled shredded pork, grilled shrimp, bacon, provolone cheese, pepper cheese, grilled mushrooms, olive salad, and wow sauce.
I'm sure the French.
I thought you were going to say the muffaletta.
Yeah, I was sure you were going to say muffaletta.
I do like muffalettas, but these sandwiches are nuts. It's not even just that one. I had all three of their 12-inch French bread sandwiches over the course of being there. We went to Verde Mart a lot. All of them are very, very good sandwiches. But I'm pretty sure that one was the best of the three, and those are like the three best sandwiches I've ever had in my life.
Dang.
I did also have muffalettas in a couple different places in New Orleans. I was kind of like whatever.
Yeah, I just remember because I think I know what episode you're talking about of the show, which I don't even remember which one of his shows it was either. But I remember him talking about a muffaletta at a place called Verde Mart.
Yeah, I think he ordered it, but we got there and I was like, this sandwich sounds crazy.
Yeah.
Sounds nuts.
It's both wild and makes perfect sense that Anthony Bourdain shows up twice in our conversation about favorite sandwiches.
Yeah, of course.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Well, I do love a good sandwich, and yes, rest in peace, Anthony Bourdain. I don't know how to move from Anthony Bourdain to King Arthur's Knights of the Round Table.
They ate sandwiches at the round table.
Sure, I'm sure they ate sandwiches. What kind of
at this round table?
Like the ingredients in a sandwich find themselves between two buns. Our knights find themselves between
last week on
the conquest of evil and the retreat from it.
Yes.
Last week, our knights ventured into the sleeping forest after having dealt with some goblins that were attacking the city of Derbyshire. They thankfully fought against the sleeping spell that was against the forest and found themselves in front of a dark castle that looked ancient and old, and yet when they went inside, it was clean and taken care of. The king, he called himself the king, King Lane, couldn't really remember how long he had been there or why he was there. He knew he just needed to guard something. And, you know, you're a little maybe suspicious of that. Maybe not suspicious. Maybe you're just like, maybe some weird curse going on. He leads you down to his dungeons so you can interrogate the King Lot's knights. King Lot is the king who is starting to gather forces to make a move against King Arthur. So you interrogated his knights who had been captured, searching for the same power inside of this castle. Come to find out that not only are the knights captured, but the villagers from Derbyshire that went to investigate the Black Lightning around this forest were also captured as well too, and that maybe King Lane is not as nice as he wants you to believe he is. Maybe he's got a little vengeful, evil streak.
I really love that the villagers were like, man, every time we send someone to just like check out this lightning, they disappear and never come back. But the
Let's
lightning
keep
comes back
sending.
every night, so let's send somebody every night.
Well, I didn't send somebody every night, but
They did say they send somebody every night.
Oh,
to
did
check
they?
out.
Oops.
Yeah.
It was
what a
established.
bunch of idiots.
They sent a villager
Whatever.
one at a time every night.
Yeah. After the first person disappeared, I've been like, nah, bro.
Forget it. Forget it.
No, I was gonna say I'm so
Uh,
surprised this turned out the way it did, because every time I've been to someone's house and they show me their dungeon, what followed typically is a great time. So I'm really surprised at what we experienced down here.
I've been having fun.
Thank you. For
Maybe
that,
not as
Danny.
much fun as you have in other people's dungeons, but
Thank you, Danny.
Yeah.
So you broke the villagers out and got them out of the castle, took out some of the knights, but the screaming continued from deep below the castle. So you busted open the door, found a stone stairwell moving down further and further and further, and it is here that we pick up at the entrance to this dark, mysterious stairwell down below. I would like to mention too, we talked about this a little off air, but
Oh, yeah.
Danny, Sir Carries, if you said that he succumbed to his vice of cowardice when he decided
Yeah.
to be the one to flee the castle and help the villagers escape rather than stay there.
Yeah, his thought process there was definitely like, okay, I have much less likely of a chance of running into a band of soldiers if I escort them.
Yep.
And so
In that case, you've succumbed to your chosen vice and you are now tainted. So that's going to do a couple things.
Ew.
You're going to gain 2 extra war dice, which is good. But every roll you make, you're going to roll at the start 3d6 instead of 2d6. You're going to keep the highest number and the lowest number. Throw out the middle number.
throw out the middleman.
Throw out the middleman, and that is going to remain in place until you take on a quest where the primary virtue is the same as your vice. So I've already thought of something I think would be interesting if you make it out of this.
Ooh, yay.
Wonderful. I will leave it to you. You are standing at the top of the stairs.
I think actually started going down, and Quintus followed.
Gawain was the first one going down.
Yeah.
Okay. Sir Caris.
Yeah, I will follow towards the back.
Towards the back, of course. As you make your way further down, like cool air is hitting you. You find yourself on a floor, and in the center of this room is a tube. You can see through it. There is a old woman inside, and you'll see that this tube will like ignite with electricity, and she screams in pain, and this electricity travels up to the top of the tube towards what's the word I'm looking for, like a giant connecting cord that like carries on up into the castle and goes up back up where you came. She sees you three and with a weak hand sort of reaches up and just goes
Dear God.
I'm parsing out how much of the suspicion I feel is mine and how much of it is Gwen's, so I can act accordingly.
That's
I
fair.
am also there.
That's fair.
So it's just like an old woman.
Looks like an old woman. Yeah.
If Quintus and Gawain don't do anything, I think Karis will step forward and begin reaching out his arm.
I mean, she's like trapped inside of this
Tube.
glass tube. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, shoot. Okay. Yeah, Gawain will step
Quintus
forward to get
pulls
a
out
look, I guess.
his sword.
Or Karis, rather.
What's Gwen doing?
Yeah, and pull out my sword. I've never seen a device like this, but should we? I don't even. What is it even doing to her?
It shocks her again. She screams in pain. And that same energy travels back up to the top of the tube and out.
Does it seem like it's taking energy from her?
Absolutely, it does.
We need to get her out of there.
Well, wait now. That king, whatever he said his name was,
Lane.
Lane. He said he promised to protect something. What if he is meant to keep this person prisoner?
Yes, I cannot help but feel that there is more to this than it seems.
Yeah. From where
She
I'm
sort of like
standing,
puts her hand up on the glass so that you can see it, Karis. It's wrinkled and old and bleeding, cracked.
from
Lane,
I'm
where are
standing,
you?
I don't know that he is done.
He came. We saw him. He led us through the dungeon and kept coming down here.
Oh, do
Yeah, he like
So
didn't
he
stop when we
continued
went to the
down?
dungeon. I thought he continued past.
He went back up. He went
Went
back up,
back
I
up.
think.
Oh, did he go back up?
Oh.
Okay.
Well, yeah, Karis will say, from where I'm standing, it really doesn't seem like that anyone needs protection from this poor woman.
Well, that's because she's trapped.
At
I mean,
first
she
sight,
right.
could be a woman. She could be anything.
at first sight, would we have assumed anyone needs protection from Merlin? Yet he's one of the most dangerous beings in all of Albion.
Just can't think about it.
Is there like a set of controls nearby? Or is there like a
Yeah.
console?
Yeah.
Yeah, Karis isn't gonna like touch it, but he's gonna walk up to it and just like look at it to see if he's able to figure out at all what kind of knowledge he can gain about what this device exactly is doing, or
Mhm.
maybe if there is like some sort of controls to shut it off.
Yeah. Yeah, give me a roll.
All right, I feel like I think
Tactical.
tactical. I feel like
Yeah.
tactical or creative maybe, but they're both zeros. So
Okay.
roll thrice dice. Take on the metal one. Oh well, makes things easy. It's a 5.
Okay. Whatever this is a bit far beyond what you are capable of like figuring out. Besides what I've said to you already. How does the situation become worse? Oh, I like this. I like putting you on a timer. Especially since you are the
now
one.
we got clocks, dude. This is just Forge in the Dark. What game are we
No,
playing?
this is just a narrative. This is a narrative timer. This is a narrative timer. Because you are actually like playing around with this, trying to find out this information, and you hit something that
I did
instead of
specifically say that I'm not touching it.
It's true.
okay, you
I
did
did
say that.
specifically say I'm not touching it. I just want to sort of
You tripped into
study it.
You,
and look.
you failed.
Maybe I
Yeah,
tripped into it.
yeah, I think what you
Maybe-
intended does not happen.
Maybe
at
I
this
go to
point.
like brush a button off
I
with my
think-
hands.
I think
just
that's what
hit
it is. It's an accident, but whatever you hit,
Yeah.
instead of intermittently siphoning whatever it is from this woman, it is now constant, and her screams just continuously now echo in this entire room.
Oh damn it!
Karis,
Did not mean to. I did not mean to hit that. He'll back up immediately.
So she's continuously screaming, so we probably can't question her now, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
What happens if you act on your vice? Remind me.
If you give in to your vice, like succumb to it,
Yeah.
you become like Danny. So you're going to gain 2 war dice, but you are going to roll 3 dice always to start, and then take the highest and the lowest and leave out the middle.
And you also
Okay.
cannot gain advancements until you take that personal quest.
And you can't gain advancements. Yep, until that quest.
Gotcha.
Or not a personal quest,
A quest that the primary virtue is the one you struggle with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do we know the primary virtue of the quest we're on right now?
It is you don't, but I can tell you. It is I have it written down somewhere. Oh, it's courage.
Oh.
Okay.
It's courage.
Just debating if I want to show this woman mercy. Or Gwen's version of it.
Perhaps someone whose actual virtue is mercy might have something to say about that.
She's like screaming, like in pain, like she's like in visible pain.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God! I should. Quintus, are you more tech savvy? Maybe you can undo what I did. I don't know what I did.
We'll take a look. Is there? Can I try to figure out how to?
Sure.
And at this point, I think Karis will go up to the pod and put his hand on the glass where he did, where the woman put her hand. He's like, I'm so sorry.
Mhm.
I'm so sorry. We're going to help you. I'm so sorry.
How do we know this punishment isn't deserved?
We don't. Seven.
A 7.
I rolled with creative, not that.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm all right. I'm all right with that. Yeah, you can slow it down so that it goes back to just whatever it was doing before.
Mhm.
I think the complication is that. Oh, what is the complication? I think it's that Lane knows you're here now and will come down.
So we don't even, as characters, we don't even know the complication. It's not immediate. It's not immediately apparent to us. Ooh,
That's good because we need him to give us answers.
true.
It doesn't hurt.
How thick is the glass?
It's not super thick. Like you can break through it if you want it to.
Okay.
All right. We're back.
I don't see how any being could deserve something like this.
People do all sorts of things.
Yeah. Oh, excuse me. Why are you in there?
Trap me in here. Taking my life energy.
You kind of cut out a little bit. I think your the filters you
coughing.
have on your
Yeah,
mic.
yeah.
Yeah, the
She says that the king has trapped her in here. Is taking her life energy in order to live forever.
Swear fealty to Arthur Pendragon.
What? Yeah, yes. Of course. Just let me out. I swear it.
Karis is kind of looking back at Quintus for like the good to go, like like any kind of.
Quintus
And
shakes
he's
his
like,
head.
he's pretty much prepared to just smash that glass. We'll turn to the woman. What's your name? Why is the king doing this to you?
To take her life energy and live forever, right? That's what she said.
Well, yes,
what she
but
said,
why
yeah.
you?
An old woman.
Can I roll tactical to see if I can, like, kind of discern what kind of a person, like, presumably an old woman is not an ideal target if she's just an old woman.
Maybe she
Sure,
wasn't always
for sure.
old. Maybe this.
It's literally what I was just about to say as her.
Oh.
It's not always an old woman.
Oh,
Yeah, I rolled a 10.
Yeah, I mean, you would know that if this is how the king has been staying alive for this long, whatever is in here has some sort of power.
Are you a member of one of the Fae courts?
Weakly nods her head.
The Fae are not to be trusted.
They are not. Karis, step
Who-
away.
who says?
You let me die here.
What is that? Just a teaching that we've just grown up knowing? Because I look at this woman, this creature, and I just see pain, and her begging for mercy.
The Fae who are not openly violent are tricksters. Tricksters all. If the Fae wanted to treat with us peacefully, do you think they would send creatures like the ones we defeated in town? No. They're wicked, deceitful.
I'm not as versed in the knowledge of the Fae as the two of you, but I know plenty of humankind. And from what I've seen, humankind show no better virtue than those of Fae. I've seen the most vile and vicious things from humans, from people of Camelot.
You will hear no disagreement from me. But if the stories are to be believed, most of the vicious, vile vindication we find in humanity, we learn from the Fae.
Perhaps that
Who's
is the
down?
case.
Who's down there? What are you doing down there? And Lane comes rushing in and sees the three of you, four of you, with Mordred here.
No,
What-
Mordred. Mordred was gonna.
Mordred was
Esper
supposed to
Hollow.
take the people
Oh,
back
yeah,
to
took
the
them out
town.
of. Yes, you're right. Yep, just the three of you. What are you doing down here? Get out of here! You're not supposed to be down here.
What is the meaning of this?
He'll
Lane?
run straight to the controls.
I draw my sword and I bar his way.
No.
Who is this woman?
She's some sort of sorcerer. I don't know. I just know that she has power. I don't remember. But I know that she's mine. And he's struggling, trying to push past you to get to the controls.
Lane, I would like for you to be able to keep your head acquainted with your shoulders, but if you don't answer us forthright and without struggle, I can't guarantee that there won't be such a parting.
Gawain, I don't believe this man has control over himself. If this is a sorcerer,
the sorceress.
If this is a sorceress of such terrible power that this is the only contraption that could contain her, then it's very likely that she might have been trying to weave some sort of spell over him in the time that he's tried to contain her.
I mean, aren't we better off getting rid of him either way? He calls himself king in Arthur's lands.
Which it's treason, but if he's really been here for as long as it seems, technically he couldn't know about Albion, and thus
Yes, but he's also
treason
been
isn't
slaying,
intentional.
He's been slaying the folk of Devonshire.
And torturing them. I mean, he's an enemy of the state. I'm not arguing that he's not.
Okay,
I feel like we'd have a better understanding of what's going on.
Just wanted to clarify that at least.
Break the spell on him or something. I don't.
Before we kill him.
I move like the tip of my sword, and this is my long sword, not my laser sword. I move the tip of my sword to his shoulder, and I press down so he'd like be forced to kneel, or the steel would like cut into him.
I understand. Let's make it a roll.
Okay. I say on your knees, Lane? It's a 9.
Okay. He kneels and is now just muttering to himself. No, it's mine alone. Mine alone. My power. No one can take it. Mine.
Tut, Lane. Do you deny that you've been calling yourself king here?
It's mine. It's my power. Of course, it's my power.
And you've been torturing the locals.
Yeah. King can do what he wants.
But you are not king. Arthur is king.
No, there's no Arthur. No, it's me. Mine.
I believe that you have lived too long, Lane. Age has addled your mind. Sorceress or no, you've committed treason in these lands. Moreover, you are unfit to hold an estate of this magnitude. You harmed the people, Arthur's subjects. You stand before 3 knights of the Round Table. Do you deny your guilt?
He does not respond to your question. He just mutters.
Brothers, that is as good as an admission, is it not?
Gawain, do you plan to execute Lane right here where we stand?
He would call for the right.
I do.
I second.
I don't feel. I mean, I guess it is.
You may look away if you must, Karis. And I lift my sword and I bring it down on Lane's neck.
Okay. His head falls off. His body rolls down to the ground.
Yeah, Karis winces and closes his eyes.
Our questions need answers, brothers. Lane wasn't going to give them to us, but maybe she can. And I walk over to the tube and I take the butt of my sword and hit the glass.
Well, wait.
To
break it?
To break it.
Yes, to break it. Okay. I'm not even going to make you roll. Because even if you don't do it the first time, you can do it the second time. The glass shatters, and the woman is basically just laying on the ground still, like trying to reach a hand up to someone to help.
As like the
pick her up.
glass shatters, I'll let my longsword fall to the ground and like catch her.
Sure. She is in your arms. Thank you, good sir. Thank you. I've been down here for so long. Thank you.
There are still questions, good lady.
Of
It has
course.
been claimed that you are a sorceress. Is this true?
I will not deny it. No, I will not deny it. And as you're talking to her, I don't know if the rest of you are like looking at Lane's body, but like Lane's body is he was old, but he still looked, relatively fit, relatively young. His body starts to like essentially disintegrate in front of your eyes.
I think Karis definitely, just because he was so stunned by the suddenness of the action, was still looking at Lane's body, and so I think he sees that.
Yeah. And Sir Gawain, the woman that you're holding is slowly not becoming an old woman.
Mm.
She seems to be getting younger as she's talking to you. Of course, yes, I am a sorceress. I will not deny it. I will not deny it.
What is your name, lady?
You remind me of someone.
I'm the nephew of Arthur, our king.
Yes, and Lot as well.
Lot is my father.
Yes, of course. How is your father doing?
I haven't spoken to him in an age. I asked your name, good lady.
Yes, you did. And at this point, she's like basically like a younger woman. And she kind of sits up.
Yeah, I pick my sword back up and kind of take a step back.
Yep. Is known by many names ages ago. For I was put here by Uther Pendragon himself. You may call me Morgan Le Fay. And there's like a wind and a whip throughout this room as like her tattered clothes turn into this like elegant black dress. She like ascends into the air as this clothing change happens and then lands back down, staff in hand.
I believe that
Is
you are a
there-
sorceress, but that name is forbidden. I do not believe you are truly her. You cannot be.
So my legend still stands. Incredible. I've been away for so long, and you're all still so afraid of me.
No, madam, you mistake me. Your name is... I am a member of Arthur's family. Uther was my grandsire. That is why I know your name. My companions here wouldn't have heard it.
I have no idea who you are.
Yes, I've never heard the name either.
Oh,
You
that's
have passed to all
Apologies.
but forgetfulness.
No. No. Well, then I must create a new name for myself. I thank you for releasing me. Will you do me the pleasure of sharing your names as well?
I have no intention of giving you my name.
I think
But-
it's best we don't.
You have sworn your oath of fealty to Arthur Pendragon.
I've sworn oaths to that man countless times. It means nothing. He's a man.
Let's see.
What do you plan to do right now? You've seen our act of kindness upon you. You should do well to not be mean to us.
Yes, kindness deserves kindness in turn, does it not?
Yes. I'm at least speaking in the sense of the immediate our situation here right now.
The world is very different. You don't have to be an enemy of Albion.
What
Enemy
about
of
you?
Immortal.
Will you share your name? The others have refused.
Me?
You who so kindly wanted to free me from the beginning.
Sir Karis thinks for a little bit.
If
And he...
you wanted to,
Huh?
like, pause real quick. If she could hear us in the class, she would have heard Karis's name because I said it.
Oh,
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, that's true.
sure.
But,
But
yeah.
pretty sure no one
Yeah.
else's name was said.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
if she asks that again, if you want to go back on that, then Karis will share
That's
his
fine.
name. He'll say, "My name is Sir Karis of the Round."
It's Karis.
Sir Karis. Oh, delightful. Your family swore fealty to me generations ago. You are my knight.
I know not of this curse you've cast upon what family I've had generations ago, but I swear my fealty to King Arthur and him alone.
Well, we'll see about that. I will show the three of you kindness today and spare your lives. This once. If we ever meet again, though, all bets are off. And she'll take her cloak and like throw it in front of her, and it spins around, and she disappears.
Shit.
I know not of sorceress, but I suspect whatever she said to me was just one of her tricks. I don't think I should think on it much, unless the two of you
I think
think
we need
otherwise.
to go back.
Yes.
Yeah, no. I think was King Lane wearing a crown?
Yes.
I will collect his crown.
Perfect.
To bring back to Arthur.
Perfect.
And I take his trousers.
Sir Quintus,
Did
you want a
you-
trophy?
Did you need new ones?
Fillings.
Take his toe rings.
Fillings.
His fillings.
What the hell?
Well, no, if he had it. Well, no, he didn't have. He probably didn't have any augmentations. because
Belly
he,
button piercing.
his belly button piercing. He had a tongue
We get
piercing.
upstairs, and like, what are the knights' bodies still there?
Yeah, that's a great
They're
question.
not. They're not. They are also disintegrated into dust.
So there's just
as
like
dust,
well.
and
like rusty
clothes.
armor like left behind.
Mhm. Yep. And in fact, now that you go upstairs, the inside of the castle matches what you would have imagined it looked like from the outside. There are walls that are crumbling. There's cobwebs everywhere. No lights are on. It's dark.
I think as we're leaving, habit kind of kicks in for Karis, and whenever he sort of sticks to the back, and if he finds like maybe like a goblet or like a set of dusty silverware that he thinks, oh, this is really old, so he could catch a pretty penny, I think he just instinctually grabs it and maybe puts it
It's-
into his knapsack or something.
I mean, it's all very rusted.
Yeah. This is all purely, I don't actually intend to do anything in terms of selling this in actuality, but
Then you can have it. Then you can have it.
yeah.
Where do you go? What do you do? What do you say to each other?
If a sorcerer's on the loose, then we should. And I
I think-
fear for our friends that we sent back.
Gawain, you know of this sorceress? She's some villain that author has destroyed
There
before.
There are stories that we were told us. And Gwen kind of trails off. I think like for a while, Gwen is just kind of like trying, like cycling back through all the stories he was told as a kid and trying to remember. And I think even in this moment, after having faced Morgana, there's like because I'm just trying to like remember some of like her canonical like magic in the old stories, and I think that like Gawain is finding that he is having trouble remembering some of the stories he was told about her, like memories that were there when we faced her a moment ago are not there now.
That's frustrating. Well, we'll have to report this to the king. Unfortunately, unsatisfying end to our first quest. Although we did save all of the villagers, which is...
I would say it was a success. We found out what was going on at the castle. We dealt with a treasonous king whose crown we can return to Arthur. And we found out about this sorceress.
Who is now free and openly an enemy of the Pendragon line.
That is a wrinkle.
Well, you know, I suppose it's optics. You do your best to present the information accurately, but you know.
Yes.
We have achievements to share.
We achieved our goal. Everything else is details.
That we will be reporting.
Yes, I'm not saying we hide anything. Please do not mistake me.
Well
then.
I feel like we're gonna have an immediate follow-up quest. There's not gonna be
a moment to rest. Yes, I'm sure. Let us go retrieve our mounts.
I think we are like heading out of the forest.
For sure.
I want to check on the villagers too. I want to make sure they're
absolutely yes.
Back safe.
Hopefully, make sure that they don't have any lasting effects of even being in that place.
Yeah.
Awful. You get back to Durinshire, and Mordred has there. He's like helping take care of some of the villagers that were captured, and he sees you. He's like, "Oh, knights, how did your quest go?"
There was a sorceress.
That was the source of the Black Lightning.
And you killed her, obviously.
So it's more complicated than that. One of us, and we're not going to point any fingers, freed her.
Well, the situation was not clear, and the king that was in that castle was clearly insane. We killed him as a traitor and treacherous liar. I mean, claiming to be king in Arthur's lands, and we did a rite of execution and opened the contraption that was containing the sorceress to question her further, and she revealed herself to be a Morgan Le Fay and promptly teleported away.
No. Do you remember the stories, cousin? I remember there being stories of Morgan Le Fay, but I can't pull any of them to mind.
Yes. Le Fay. I can't remember either. Arthur would tell us stories all the time. Why can't I remember any of them?
This is dark magic indeed.
Well, we must report this to King Arthur's immediately.
Yes, the three of us must return to the kingdom as fast as we can, with all haste.
Well, Mordred might as well come as well if his first order of business was to report to the king anyways before we even went to the woods.
It's up to you, cousin.
Send my report with you. If there's a sorceress loose, I will begin hunting her down.
I would be careful. She is clearly incredibly powerful. Her magic was what maintained the interior of that castle and all of its denizens for as long as it did.
Thank you, Sir Quintus. Of course, I will be careful. Yes.
I'm stressed.
It's my case.
Yes, we'll
Quintus
haste.
will, when we go to retrieve our mounts from the inn, he will stop inside, hoping to see the family reunited. Well, no, he won't stop inside, but he'll look in the window and hope to see.
Just like
It's
Gawain
a great
was
peeking
before.
window.
Oh yeah,
it's a
as
very
Gawain already proved. We already have a good shot inside from outside. So
Just all three of us are just at the window, just looking in.
They are there. The family is reunited, and they're crying and hugging each other. And the mom picks up her son and gives him one of those spin hugs.
Toss
Sets
him
him
across
down.
the room.
Just
Slams into a wall.
Just
He
yeets
just
him
starts
as
spinning
far as she
faster
can.
and Spinning around.
Karis goes,
It's the bartender from the top rope.
Flying
All right.
toddler.
I set my horse into overdrive. I activate the nitrous and I get fucking going.
Yeah, you do. Obviously, I think that we need to see
I
the
ride behind
scene
at horse speed.
of you coming back and
I know it's a normal horse, but it probably isn't a normal horse.
Oh no, I'm imagining that
generations of breeding.
Not only that, but Merlin's magic combined with the power armor, this thing can keep up with your guys.
For sure,
no problem.
for sure. I do think though that you have completed a quest.
Amazing.
I can't advance.
So you cannot advance, but the rest of you can mark an advancement. I would like to let's go over that real quickly. I just want to. Does anyone feel like they acted in direct opposition to their chosen virtue?
No,
I don't think so.
No. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, because Gawain, you chose justice, and Quintus, you chose hope.
No, I chose hope. He chose
Hope.
Or yes, that was correct.
Quintus chose
I
hope.
mixed myself up.
Quinn
That
chose-
So you're good.
Queen
I
chose
was wrong.
justice, and Sir Karis chose mercy.
Yeah, I tried pretty hard not to show anybody mercy.
It's kind of a bummer that Sir Karis is tainted and can't advance because he also, I feel like he acted in accordance with his chosen virtue to try and break Morgan Le Fay out, but you can't choose an advancement. So
Yeah.
did either of you two feel like you acted in accordance with your chosen virtue or successfully struggled against your vice?
I think I successfully acted in accordance with my chosen virtue
Of justice? I think so.
for
Yeah.
justice. Yeah.
Yeah,
In particular,
sure.
executing King Lane and I think a few different things, but
Yeah. Now, here's a question for you. This is this is to you as well as the player, as well as to the character. How does Gawain separate justice and mercy? Would there have been room in there for mercy? Where is the room for mercy?
I think the room for mercy is for Gawain and for me as a player, choosing not to pursue justice when justice is an option.
So I think you did struggle with it because
I think to a degree, but I think, for instance, I think the big example in this episode was with Lot's soldiers. I think if I had simply let them go and just said, "Hey, you guys are prisoners too, you're free," that would have been mercy. But only allowing them out on the condition of help me fight and potentially lose your lives is not a show of mercy. It's a show of selfishness on Gawain's part. Basically, you're tools for my survival in this instance. I'm
I
not.
didn't really see that.
What about Lane? Do you think there's room for mercy there?
Yeah, I could have commanded that he bend the knee to Arthur and not beheaded him.
Yeah. There is definitely not a need to execute him on his father, at least in Karis' eyes.
So do you feel like then you did succumb to your chosen vice?
No, because I didn't show them mercy.
Well,
so again, That's why it's confusing. When your vice is
Oh,
mercy,
yeah.
that means that
Yeah.
you have trouble not showing mercy. That's why I think I'm getting.
You have
at.
trouble
Sounds-
being merciless.
I get it.
You have trouble being
Yeah.
merciful, and when you act
Merciful, yeah.
not mercifully, you are
So,
acting in your vice.
Maybe I need to change what my one of my things is then, because I think
Sure.
by virtue of enacting my virtue, I am not pursuing.
For
like,
sure. That's
Yeah.
well, that's why I
can't-
wanted to ask, because I think there are ways in which you can pursue justice and still show mercy. I think
Yeah.
in this circumstance specifically, pursuing justice meant you did not show mercy.
Yeah.
But because he was pursuing justice, doesn't that make it all right? Because that is his.
Well, no,
primary-
Well, you'll get the advancement either way. I'm only asking
No.
if we think Sir Gawain is going to be tainted or not.
Well, I mean, technically, he should have become tainted immediately when he did
When
that.
he
But
did
we're
it,
looking
sure.
kind of in retrospect.
Yeah, and that's
So-
why I'm asking, or kind of like saying I'd like to, but I won't
Yeah.
do it unless you're.
You certainly
like,
can.
because I think I misunderstood the way that the vice
I
aspect
completely
worked,
understand.
Yeah.
and so
It's very confusing. That's why I'm totally willing to let you
Okay.
do it. That's what I was saying. We're like you choosing the vice, but the vice is a virtue, which isn't really how virtues work. Like we know,
Yeah.
a vice is the opposite of a virtue. So if you chose mercy as your vice, cruelty, I guess, would be the vice there, or something
Yeah.
along those lines.
Yeah, so I think in keeping with some of what I've already kind of set up for Gawain as a character, I'm going to change my vice to generosity.
Perfect. I was just looking at
Yeah.
that one. That feels like it fits still
Makes
very
sense.
well. I'm all for that.
Okay.
Instead of
cool.
mercy. I like that.
Yeah.
Instead of mercy. Perfect.
Yeah.
We are on.
Justin, I have a
So,
quick question. If this is just looking at the rules, once a character gains redeemed and renewed, do they just keep that forever, or is there a way they lose redeemed?
Yeah, you
or
become
renewed?
broken or tainted again.
yeah, I would say something like that.
Okay, yeah, because it doesn't explicitly say. Because that's what I thought too, but it doesn't explicitly say that. Because it says under the broken redeemed section, while you're redeemed, if you act in direct opposition to your virtue again, you do so at pain of death or dismissal from the order. So
Yes,
if you're
that's right.
redeemed,
Yes.
and you do that again,
Yes.
then you're out.
You are
So
correct.
tainted
Yes.
though, you can keep doing because it doesn't say
Yeah.
anything like that. When
Yeah.
you are renewed,
But
your dice
so
rolls
there's
go
no
back
way
down.
to get rid of redeemed then, or renewed.
I
guess
think
either.
once you become redeemed and renewed, they're just there. Yep.
Okay.
Well,
okay.
Yeah, because I
You
think
could
it's kind of the thing is like people
Oh.
remember you being broken or tainted,
Yeah.
and then it's just that you've been restored in whatever
Yes.
way. Like very,
Yeah.
very like I don't know how familiar again you guys are with Arthurian legend, but like Lancelot and Guinevere have like an
Mhm.
affair,
Mhm.
and then like Lancelot kind of
What?
regains Arthur's trust.
Scandalous.
spoilers that only came out
Scandal.
1,000 years ago.
Spoilers.
There were
more than 1,000.
there were
Yeah,
so
way less
many
than that.
like avenues of Arthurian legend that I was like, we could go that way, or we could go that way.
Yeah.
I had
I believe that my Sir Quintus's speech to the
absolutely.
tavern owner was
Yeah.
his expression of his virtue of hope.
For sure.
In small
For
ways,
sure.
he sort of expresses it as we go.
For sure.
And I would also argue that he struggled with his vice. I don't think he at any point actually fully broke it to the point of being
Yeah.
tainted, but
Yeah.
didn't really have faith in anything that was like being presented to him or
Yeah.
anything that isn't Arthur, just kind of not really believing it or following it.
It didn't seem like you struggled with it to the point of it being becoming tainted. Yeah.
Right.
But I definitely think you acted in accordance with your chosen virtue. So you're going to take one advancement for completing the quest. You're going to take one advancement if you acted in accordance with your virtue or successfully struggled against your vice.
Technically,
Okay. Even if I don't get an extra.
I think technically, if Karis had struggled against his virtue at some point in this quest after he became tainted, then I think he technically would have been able to become renewed, because you did state that the primary virtue of this quest was courage, right? But I don't think he did. The closest thing I feel like could come to it. Yeah, the closest thing I could see coming close to it would be him going and speaking his name to Morgan Le Fay, but I don't think that's enough.
Yeah, I think I would want more than that.
Because there's a reason why he was so comforted in saying his name to Morgan Le Fay.
So if you have 1 or 2 advancements with that, you can do a few things. You can pick a new trait. But again, you can't have more than 5 traits. You can replace a trait that you currently have with a different trait. And if you do that, that is when you keep the benefits of the white squares, but lose the benefits of the black square if that was in your trait. So for instance, your sentinel trait.
Yes.
It
Sorry, I
has
had a
the-
confused look. That's why Justin is talking to me.
Nope, you're good. You're good. I think it's also the best example we have of it. The 3 bullets are +4 health, the great sword. Those are white squares, so you get to keep those. If you replaced sentinel, you would keep the +4 health,
but then I
keep
would
the
lose
great
the
sword.
ability,
but you would lose the stand guard ability. Exactly.
which I don't want to lose because that thing's
Exactly.
cool.
So you can gain a new trait, you can replace a trait, you can do physical training, which is roll 2d6 and add the lower value to your max HP. You can procure arms, in which case you would obtain a new weapon that is 1 step maximum damage higher than your current weapon.
And steps are just more dice, I assume.
It starts off by adding +1 damage and then +2 damage and then an extra dice. And then the last thing you can do is you can meditative retreat, and you can take a -1 to an attribute of your choice and then add a +1 to another one.
That's a lot of
Okay.
options.
I have 2 questions. If we marked 2 advancements, then we gain 1 war dice, right? Because of the second advancement.
Correct. Yep.
Okay. And then
Cool.
how do we, I don't know if this relates to this process, but how do we advance our rank traits?
Yes. So anytime you pick a trait, you can pick that. However, you'll notice the next rank trait has a prerequisite, which is 4+ traits and 4+ advancements. So you can't choose veteran until you meet those requirements.
Gotcha. Okay. So I have to take a trait this time if I want to do that.
Correct.
Okay.
Oh, and there are some traits that require you to be either a veteran or a master.
Yeah.
This is fun.
And again, so when you complete a quest or otherwise gain an advancement, so does that mean that we get to choose one of these 5 options twice?
Twice. If you
Cool.
Yep, exactly.
If we
once.
Okay.
Once for completing the quest, once if you did not succumb to your vice or like successfully fought against your vice or showed your virtue.
Yeah. And then one more question, because I'm going to do physical training for one of my advancements here to increase my max HP. When I increase my max HP, will I increase my current HP by the same amount?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Also, what's like healing like out of is like do I just get my health back at the end of a quest?
Yeah, good.
That's a great question.
That is a great question.
So my max HP just went up by 5, just so you know. So I'm at 11 for
good.
max.
That's pretty good.
I rolled a 6 and a 5 for my HP roll. And for listeners, when you roll to increase your max HP, you're rolling 2d6 and taking the lower and adding that to your max HP.
It doesn't ever spell it out. I know that there's like traits that let you heal and stuff.
Well, I mean, I could like also I have the chef thing, and I can literally just heal us with food. So if there's enough time, I'm gonna heal regardless.
Yeah, I think let's do that instead of just saying at the start of every quest you got your health back.
Okay.
I think you have to expend resources to bring that health up.
Makes sense.
Justin, what were you saying again about? I know I'm not really advancing right now, but I'm just curious. What were you saying again about the black boxes and the white boxes and each of the traits?
Yeah, so if you end up replacing a trait, you will keep any of the white boxes under your trait, but you will lose any of the black boxes.
How would we apply that rule to traits from Fist?
It just won't matter because I don't think they have those.
Okay. So you just fully replace those then? Well, I guess there are like abilities in the actual sentence.
There are abilities. We'd probably take it like on a case by case basis.
Okay.
Here's the thing. We're doing this all in one go, right? You're
Yeah.
probably only gonna have one more full quest before the end of this.
We're probably not going to choose
So-
to replace any traits.
I would just say there's no point in replacing any of your traits because you're
Yeah.
never even gonna get to that 5th trait.
I can already tell I'm going to want to play more Fist Avalon after we finish this.
It's so fun.
Yeah,
It's so cool.
seems
It's
to-
very simple too. I
Yeah.
really like it.
This is like it's interesting because it's like PBTA, but like really focused in like, or it feels like it really focuses on combat, which
Yeah.
is usually
Yeah.
not where you go with
Yeah.
PBTA, but
Yeah.
it feels so clean. I like,
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
don't know what it is.
I'm digging it so far. I'm really digging it a lot. The original Fist is a pretty beloved indie PBTA game too. So just I think Fist stands for something because every time it's got it. Because every time I hear it,
It's also always capitalized.
yeah,
Don't let
it makes me I don't know. I just think
Freelance
Fist-
Infantry
Fisting.
Strike Team.
There it is. Freelance Infantry Strike Team, not Fisting.
Fistin?
Fisting.
Fisting. That's
Fist.
initially what I thought.
Piston.
What okay, so what are you guys taking for your advancements?
thinking.
Oh, so I already did the physical training. I'm debating now between taking gaining a trait or a meditative retreat.
Okay. Sir Quintus, what are you thinking?
Oh man. Come back to me.
It's just you, man.
Oh man.
Danny doesn't get any.
Oh no. I need 2 as well.
You know what? I think just because I can't decide and I don't want to hold us up for too long, I'm going to do physical training twice.
Wow, okay. Beefy boy. Beefy Gawain boy.
I think I'm going to do.
This time I only get 1.
I'm going to do Heathen. Sorry, along with
Oh,
mine.
Ooh, is
That
that from
fits.
Avalon?
Yeah, that is from
I
Avalon
like that.
specifically.
I like that a lot.
He likes it.
He likes it a lot.
He likes it
I
a
like
lot.
that a lot.
I'm glad you like
I
it.
think if I have any catchphrase at all, I think that might be it. I feel like I say that a ton.
You do say that. I like that. I like that a lot.
I like that a lot.
Um,
Heathen and what else are we doing?
what else are we doing?
I'm interrupting that ritual each time we try to do it.
I will kill you. I just will. I think I will also train and sort of increase my health pool.
Okay, so roll 2d6. Add the lower to your max and current.
2d6 lower to your max. Three. It's not great, but it's not
Okay.
terrible.
Average. I should have done what I used to do when I GM'd Pathfinder, which was I would well, I guess I'd have to figure out what the average would be. I used to give players the option when they level up. You can either take the average or you can roll your hit die and get more, maybe.
Yeah.
But you know, I'll also
The
get
average of
less.
2d6.
Oh. Yeah.
Well, but the lower
average
of
of
2d6. Yeah.
Yeah. So 3. So
So 3.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And I feel like it doesn't work as well because you have less of a chance. You have more of a chance of getting lower than 3. When you roll 2d6. Either way. All right. Do you guys want to do anything on the road back?
Yeah. I mean, like in like a skipped, like
sure,
sort of sequence form. You know, Quintus definitely tries to make some really good food for everybody.
Yeah, it does say you have to roll for it though, because there's always a chance you get a miss.
I'm at full health, so I'll just eat the jerky.
Just give us all food poisoning.
Yeah, I guess I get to roll with creative.
Yeah, give me a creative roll. Let's just see.
I can make good food without a roll, but if I want like the effects.
But if you want the healing part, yeah.
Chef is from Avalon or Fist?
Fist.
Fist. Okay, 7. So I get to pick one effect, and I'll pick.
Yeah.
Or actually, no, that would be 9. No, 8.
Nice.
It's like a
nice.
All
right. So pick the heals 1d6 plus creative. So give me roll a 1d6, Nick, and add your creative, and we'll see how much you guys get to heal from this.
6. So I rolled 5.
Hey, nice. So whoever wants to can heal 6 HP.
I needed 2, so that's great.
Yeah, I needed 5, so I was really hoping.
Perfect. Nice job, everybody. But you can see too how swingy the damage is and health.
Yeah, I know.
You don't have a ton of health. Like, yeah, 5 would knock out most people if they hadn't taken the traits Nick had taken there. So, wonderful. You find your way back to Camelot. Make your way back up to the tower where King Arthur's throne room is. He is not there. Instead, Merlin is there. Squeaks out, and he's like, "Oh, the young knights, you're back. How did your first quest go?"
Oh, I think we just, at least Gawain just relays everything. I don't hold any information back.
Holy shit!
Probably getting too much detail, honestly.
That's fair.
And then I was trying to watch them talk to the barkeeper through the window, and this one guy kept just moving over the way. So I had to
no. Back
I
to
think
Morgan.
I think before we walk in, I think Karis will ask Gawain if he could keep this whatever about a generational curse that Morgan Le Fay cast on his family, maybe out of that. He'll ask if he can.
No.
Yes. Sorry, Karis, but it is our duty to report accurately.
It's part of the report, my friend.
Nothing will come of it.
Fear not.
So.
Merlin and the king, they have nothing but your best interests in mind.
All right. I have trust in you.
You're a knight of the round. There's nothing to fear.
All right.
Except for maybe Morgana.
Yes.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Seems to be true. The thing is, Karis, I think more than anything, you should start to trust yourself. Something to work on, perhaps.
Perhaps, yes. I agree, yes.
You tell Merlin, or you walk in, you're like, "Oh yes, the knights. How did your quest go?" And you tell him everything. He said, "Oh no. Come with me. We should call King Arthur immediately."
So it is as bad as we feared.
Worse.
That's good. I was already having indigestion about this.
So we will give our report to the king, and then he'll call some of the greater knights like Percival and Bors and Lancelot, right? And they'll take care of this, and we'll go and do something simple.
We shall see. The king will know. The king will know what is best.
All right.
And he leads you back into his room, and meanwhile he's sort of like, yes, it will be hard. Most of the knights are at the front lines with him already, trying to deal with a lot. I don't know. And he pulls out like a communication pad and calls up Arthur, and like a little hologram of mini version of Arthur shows up on the screen. Like, yes, hello, what is going on? Arthur, your knights are back. They come bearing terrible, terrible news. And smash cut to right after Merlin shares everything. Oh, that is very concerning. The three of you.
Yes, Your Majesty.
How did Morgan feel? What did she seem to you?
Well, Gawain was the one holding her, so we didn't really get a chance to feel her. But
I don't.
Your sense as a knight.
I don't mean physically, Sir Caris.
She was
Sorry,
fearsomely
Lord.
powerful, my king. And I get the sense that she was more powerful than she was letting on.
Yes.
Is she part Fae, Your Majesty?
She has made countless deals with countless beings.
Hmm.
She's not a fae herself, but her powers broach what is possible for even a human.
I ask because I managed to elicit a vow of fealty to you. Obviously, she being non-Fae, she doesn't have to keep it.
She's sworn fealty to me countless times, Sir Quintus. It means
that's
nothing
exactly
to
what
her.
she said.
Right. But the beings she has dealings with take fealty very seriously and promises very seriously. Might be something we can use to our advantage later.
Uncle.
Yes, yes. He's
I-
very distant, by the way, too. Like,
Yeah.
very up in his head.
I have memories. Vague memories of you and my mother telling me stories about someone named Morgana, but they seem to have fled my mind when we met her. Why would that be?
She's a charm around herself. It's a self-defense magic. Prevents anyone from knowing any real weaknesses about her, from enacting on those weaknesses in her presence. Even if I share the stories with you now, you would forget them the minute you were in her presence.
I suppose that makes sense.
A vexing foe.
I am occupied at the front lines. Seems Lot has started gathering more forces. We're hoping that we can reconvene a council, and the two of us can talk through this in order to prevent war. If what you said is true, and I believe every word of it, Morgan will be looking for allies. The first being Lot. I'm afraid there is no way to prevent this war.
That's what I've always feared, Uncle. My father is not a reasonable man.
What if there is? What if we can convince Lot of the danger of Morgan Le Fay. Enemies can become bedfellows if you have shared great a threat.
The enemy of my enemy is my friend.
As the saying goes.
Well, if the threat of Morgan befriending or communing with Lot is as immediate as His Majesty is making it seem, then we must get to Lot before Morgana.
If you were to pursue this, you have my blessing. There is a separate task, should you choose to want it as well.
What is that, Majesty?
There is a mountain. Not too far from Lot's castle, actually. I need you to go there. There's a wyvern nest there. Prepare yourself for battle accordingly. Once you've dispatched of the wyverns, journey into the heart of the mountain. You will find a key there. I need you to take that key, and I cannot answer any questions about what it is. I'm sorry.
You owe us no apologies, Majesty.
Nor explanations. You command and we do.
Do you advise us to go for the key before we try to reach Lot, or?
I will tell you this. Morgan will be looking for the key as well. So you have a very difficult choice to make. Get to Lot before she does and gain an ally. Or steal this key out from under her. But then she may have time to talk to Lot.
You needn't give us any details about the key. But which do you think would be more meaningful in the battles to come? Possessing the key, or a tenuous relationship with a king you may not be able to trust?
He looks at Merlin, and the two of them share a look with each other. There will be great loss of lives if the war between Lot and I begins. And while I would be concerned if Morgan were to empower his troops, the damage that she could cause with that key would be catastrophic. But know that many more lives will be lost if she allies herself with King Lot than if the war had just started without introducing this element.
It is then.
Just to clarify,
Mm-hmm.
on a meta level, like, because I'm not sure I'm understanding, is he saying that more lives will be lost if Morgana gets the key than if she gets sold out first?
He's saying that were Morgana not in the equation at all and this war had started, there would be lives lost. If Morgana is allowed to magically empower Lot and his side, that much more lives will be lost. But he is more concerned about her getting the key.
Okay.
So it's still very much a moral quandary of like, are we willing to have our people lose that many more lives in this war in order to keep this artifact away from Morgana?
Yeah. It's the classic carriage problem.
Carriage problem.
Yes,
It
there's
is.
one person on a track in front of your carriage, and there's 5 people off to the side. If you hit the one person, things will careen out of control, and eventually many more will die. If you kill the 5 to save the one, fewer people will ultimately die. So do you kill 5 people to protect more, even though you can only immediately
Yes.
affect one?
Yeah, I've heard this. I've always just answered I'd set the horses loose, let them off into either direction, away from all the people, and the carriage would just halt to a stop.
But no, the people die because you were trying to deliver a cure for the plague, right? That's like the main.
Oh,
So you can't stop.
I always
That's
forgot
why.
the cure for the plague one.
The problem is if you hit 5 people, it's likely to damage the cart enough that you can't
Oh, right, yes.
continue.
You cut the horses loose, and they split off and trample both sets of people, and
Then you get extra points.
and you don't deliver the plague medicine, so you kill.
And then
6
you get an
people for naught.
advancement because you
And then
killed
you get
6
an
people.
Yeah.
I don't.
D, let's go.
I don't like this puzzle. It's not fun.
I don't like this.
I think we should go after the key.
I
That's
believe
what
that is the
That's what it seems like. The correct
correct
choices.
choice.
I don't think
I'll
there's
be-
a correct choice, but
I'll
seems
be
like
at the
a better
front.
one.
I'll be at the front lines. When you get the key, bring it to me.
Yes, Majesty. Yes.
So, yeah.
Good.
As Your Majesty wishes. As Your Majesty commands, I should say. Sorry.
Your wish is my command.
Yeah, I know.
Your
It's
wish is my command.
Speaking of the dread pirate Roberts,
What dost thou wish, sire?
That's an educated wish.
wonderful. If you have any questions for Merlin, please let him know.
Right.
Unfortunately,
Yes.
his programming won't be able to answer anything specific about the key. But
Oh, but I don't think we have any questions from Merlin.
wonderful. Yes, fine. I've got experiments to do. Killing a bug. There's a bug
Merlin
flying.
killing a
I
bug.
thought that was Merlin doing an experiment.
Yes, I have experiment.
I have experiments to do. Okay, can still clap my hands. Good.
All right. Well, how do you hang up this thing?
Merlin hangs up.
Yeah, it seems you were right. No time to rest.
Is there anything that we need before we go off?
I don't think so.
Then let us be on with it.
Wonderful, 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 wonderful.
Wunderbar.
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 Okay,
Okay, so this time I'm going to use my abilities as I should have when we went into the forest and cook us a meal before we get there so we have a +1 that we can use on a single roll.
Oh, nice.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
That
nice.
smart.
I just didn't. I literally said that I was cooking for us and just didn't use the ability to roll, and we just didn't get it.
That's my bad too. I should have mentioned it. I should have called
May,
that.
may I ask?
I'd like to do a perception check. What are you looking for? Nothing.
No,
Just gonna roll it.
just hang out,
Justin,
dude.
may I ask what the primary virtue is of the key quest?
Yes, this is also courage.
Beautiful.
Trying to get our boy an advancement.
I am trying to get him an advancement. Yes.
Time to act courageous, but I'm gonna make it hard on myself because I'm really good at doing that in RPGs.
You should also. I mean, you should be concerned. A wyvern nest is no joke.
Oh no, yeah, it's just
I've
he
got
said
12 HP.
and
I
King
think I'm
Arthur
okay.
said wyverns, plural.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you know,
Yeah, wyvern
Yeah.
nest, not a
Yeah.
A single wyvern. Yeah.
yeah.
Ay.
Quintus,
Ay.
like as we're like
Yeah.
traveling, he does seem like pretty nervous. He's never really fought like monsters of that. Like he's generally familiar with the Fae, but like
Yeah, I think it's a thing. One of those things where it's like Quintus is showing, like, displaying nerves. I'm assuming Karis probably seems pretty nervous, and it's probably pretty clear to. I mean, we've been training together for years now. Like, we've now undertaken this like serious mission together. It's probably pretty clear, no matter what Gwaine thinks. He's like trying to show a lot of bravado,
Mhm.
but it's obvious he's just as afraid as either of you.
I suppose like one of the knights, Quintus kind of speaks up and he's like, I suppose it's time for us to face that choice. Hey, Karis.
I suppose so. And Karis is tightly grasping this pendant he's wearing around his neck. It's like this like metal. It doesn't look of high value whatsoever, but it's like this like metal orb that almost looks like he can open it up, but he's just sort of grasping it.
Also, you'll notice on this trip, every morning, very early, it might even be before you guys wake up when he starts it, but he probably wouldn't finish by the time you wake up. You see Quintus.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
That's your faith? That's what you believe in?
I'm almost finished!
You
Look
see
away!
Quintus like continuously bowing to a certain direction in the morning and sort of whispering something to himself.
I love that stuff.
This in no way tracks with the faith of the land, which we will not.
I like to
name.
think he's bowing directly away from Camelot.
He's bowing in a specific direction. I wonder what faith that could be.
Yeah.
Who knows what this British, this fake futuristic Britain faith is? I don't know.
Yeah. For sure.
And also, I suppose it's an important detail to note that Quintus was born in Camelot, but his parents are foreigners, so he does look pretty different from
that is interesting. That is very interesting.
And do we? You said we specifically don't notice this. Like, you make sure to do this before we wake up, or
no? I said you would notice. Like,
we would.
This trip versus last trip, he is doing this like every morning.
Yeah, I don't think Karis pays much mind of it, given that he's not very well versed or knowledgeable about anything.
Do you want to roll your food roll?
So every morning he then starts. So after that, he starts his cooking.
We'll just do the one roll.
Yeah.
Do it every day then.
Thanks. That would be. Well, only the one roll really matters. So
exactly. Yeah, exactly. We'll just carry that with.
I rolled in 8, so I get to pick one effect. I will do the +1 to any attribute.
+1. Okay, they get to pick +1 to any attribute.
So just one roll though. So you have this like +1 hanging
I understand.
out.
Okay, you get a +1 to one roll. I got you.
Yeah,
perfect.
So it's
amazing.
Just a little tiny bonus.
Perfect. In that case, it's a few days in, and like I meant, like Arthur mentioned, this is past Albion. You were crossing a border to get to this mountain. You find like a not a tower, but like clearly like a house with like a long tower to it. But it looks friendly, and maybe it's like you've been traveling for a while and haven't been able to stay in a place at all.
I don't know how, but this house looks
is
friendly.
this is we'll say that this is probably like before you cross the border. So this is probably like one of the last things you'll see still in Albion before you cross over into Lot's kingdom, and who knows what could happen then.
Just looking at this building feels like a warm hug.
I think this is by far the farthest from home I've been. This is it, Mr. Brutal. One more step and I'm the farthest from home I've ever been.
Version of that movie cut so that he says that every single step he takes. It's like 20 hours long.
They make that joke in Modern Family too.
Oh,
They do.
Dylan does that in an episode. He's like, "This is the farthest I've ever been from home. And this is the farthest I've ever been from home. And now this is the farthest I've ever been from home."
It's funny. I've got the One Ring on today.
There you go.
I was gonna ask about that. Yeah, little ring. How's your neck doing? I know that burden's pretty a terrible weight to bear.
It is, but I'm managing so far.
You're so strong. I'm so proud of you.
I would not have you carry it.
What do you do? Do you carry on?
I think we burned the house down, right?
The house
Sure.
isn't made of like gingerbread or anything like that, is it?
No, it's like a no. No.
That's a
No.
great question. We should ask that every single time you talk about
We're not-
at a house.
We're not
Because
mixing our legends and myths here.
Just making sure. Anytime a GM tells you that a house feels really
Looks
friendly,
inviting.
you gotta think.
You
"A
gotta
witch lives
wonder.
here.
You
We have
gotta
trust
wonder.
issues.
She wants to eat me."
am I going?
You gotta
Alright.
wonder.
Shall we go knock on the door?
I suppose.
What like time are we coming upon this house?
It's probably like the sun is starting to set.
Hmm.
Oh,
Oh,
it's just some kind of inn. We can.
I don't think it's
I
an
doubt
inn,
it.
but we can see what the hospitality of Albion is like in these
we
farther
can
regions.
Make it an inn.
yeah, we're still in Albion. I know you said
Yeah.
we were getting close to the border. Okay.
Yeah, that's why I kind of walked it back and said this is probably one of the last things you'll encounter
Okay.
in Albion before you get over.
We walk up to the door and knock.
Coming. Hello. Yes. Who's there?
There's 3 knights of the round. Sir
Oh,
Gawain, Sir
knights.
Caris, and Sir Quintus.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Come in. And the door opens. You don't see anyone immediately though. Make yourselves at home. I'll be down in a moment. There's some tea brewing.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
One of my toddlers just drank my wife's coffee. Just
Oh,
heard a lot of
no.
yelling in the background.
Oh no!
Chaos ensued. We walk in, I suppose. We were invited.
Yeah.
I won't sit down for tea.
I can only
Just-
walk in if I'm invited.
Secretly took the vampire trait. Oh no, garlic! It's like hanging from the wall.
Oh no, are these spoons silver?
No!
Sorry, I dropped my entire container of rice on the ground earlier.
Oh, I left my wooden stake lying on your seat in an upright position. Oh, damn it!
No, you hear you can tell now that you've come in that like in this tower part is where this voice is coming from. He's like, you can call me Theodore. I don't get a lot of visitors out here. It's a pleasure to meet you. Pleasure to meet Knights of the Round Table as well. King Arthur, what a wonderful, wonderful person. He's just talking, comes down, but you hear like squeaking. It's not the sound of feet. It's the sound of squeaking. And rolling down from the top of this tower is what is like a knight armor on top but then below it, there's like it's got these like 2 tentacles that kind of come out, and then the feet are like these giant wheels. It kind of looks like this.
Justin, what?
Which
Justin, did you just establish one of your son's drawings into the fiction of the TTRPG we're playing right now?
yeah,
He
I
does.
did.
That's great.
I love
I
that
did.
so much.
I
love
did
it so
because so we do coloring a lot, and he's like, what are you gonna color? And I'm like, oh, I've got this like Magitech thing coming up, so I printed out Magitech Knight, but my printer stopped working and only printed out the top half of the knight armor, and then I colored that, and then Rio's like, can I draw the rest of it? And I'm like, absolutely, you can draw the rest of it. And so he drew the rest of it, and I'm like, that's kind of dope. I kind of love it. So this creature comes down. He's like, hello, Theodore, good to meet you. And he like puts out one of those like robotic tentacle arms.
Yeah, Gawain doesn't like unfazed, just takes it. And I'm Sir Gawain.
So great, wonderful.
Oh yeah, yes. My name is Sir Karis.
Sir Karis, pleasure as well.
Sort of hesitantly reaches his hand out.
This is Sir Quintus.
Ah, Sir Quintus,
He is-
wonderful to meet the 3 of you.
He's catatonic at the moment.
What brings the 3 of you so far from Camelot? Are you on a quest?
We are.
Incredible. What is your quest? Don't answer that if you don't need to. I understand you and King Arthur like keeping your quests wrapped tightly. Please don't share anything more.
No. It's
you
no
want to.
trouble at all. We are going to deal with some wyverns.
Ah, yes, just over the border.
Yes, indeed.
Wonderful. They've come here a few times, but I've blasted them away. They couldn't get too close. Sorry, do you want the tea? I can get that tea for you. Is anyone hungry, thirsty? You seem like you've been traveling for a while.
I would love to enjoy some of your hospitality.
Of course. And he spins around on his wheels and starts to move. But he knocks into the table and the helmet falls off. And there's no person in there. He's like, oh, sorry about that. He picks the helmet back up, puts it on, rolls over to like his counter and starts pouring tea for you. It's been quite a while since I've had any company out here. Decades, probably.
Quite remote. Mr. Theodore,
yes.
I hope it is not imprudent of me to ask.
The armor.
Yes. You have an interesting, unique situation.
Yes.
I
am not as accomplished as your Merlin. No. But I do dabble a little bit in the arcane. And, well, one day, something not great happened. And my soul got separated from my body. But thankfully, I quickly cast a spell and ended up in this. I've been like this for 30 years now. Ceased to be an encumbrance. Sort of just a funny story I get to tell people.
You said you haven't had visitors in decades.
Yeah, yes.
Sorry.
I've never gotten to tell anyone it. Do you find it funny?
Well,
seemed like a funny story to me.
I'm glad that you are able to find mirth in it. I do feel a bit bad for you, but I'm glad that it hasn't deterred your humor, clearly.
Oh, pish posh. I'm fine. There's some days I don't even miss having a body.
There's no more pooping.
Or eating.
It's kind of. Oh, I suppose
Really?
depending on the
Really
person,
anything.
it's the downside. Yeah. So you just pursue your arcane research for Avalon?
Yes. Sometimes I have to fend off the occasional wyvern, or occasionally some warlords will come. Some up and start warlord will come and try and demand coin from me, not knowing who I am. But
What sort of magic do you practice specifically?
no, all kinds. Do you want to see a trick?
Sure.
If it's not dangerous.
No, not dangerous at all. And he holds up the pot of the tea kettle, and it starts to like shake and vibrate. And then there is a small explosion. But right before it really hits anything, like time sort of freezes. And then those pieces vibrate again, and he snaps them back into a tea kettle.
So sort of like
Incredible.
like that.
Yeah. Yes, Danny, just like that.
For our listeners,
Anyone not
Danny-
watching
Danny
the video?
threw his hands outwards and then drew them back in. That is with
That's
the
it.
sound that he made. So, well, it seems, sir, that you've provided service to the realm, and we thank you as Knights of King Arthur. Taking care of warlords and wyverns. That's actually why we were sent. The wyverns seem to have gotten out of hand, and we are here to dispatch them.
Amazing. Wonderful. Well,
I must ask, how has the land been treating you the past day or two? Have you seen any changes?
well. Now that you mention it, there was sort of a dark cloud moving its way towards King Lot's castle. But the weather, you know?
Yes, it does. It do be acting strange lately.
Yes.
Sorry, street talk.
I don't believe you want for anything in the form you currently have, but I have coin as a token of appreciation as
Oh,
Knight of Arthur.
I'll tell you what. Bring me back a wyvern tooth.
I can absolutely do that for you, sir.
Wonderful.
Boom! Side quest. Make sure to exhaust his dialogue.
Just imagine if this was a video game, the side quest name would be something like Full Metal Alchemist.
Yes.
I mean,
that's so good.
Obviously, that was
The
the
references
inspiration for
Right
this.
there.
If he has a dog.
Glad you're so happy about it. All right, yeah. So, wyvern
Yeah.
tooth for him. We have some tea, and then we're on our way. Right? I mean,
Yes, be careful of the warlords out there. They're out in the forest, especially once you've crossed over the border.
do you mind if we make camp in your? I don't know. Do you have like stables or like a lean-to for?
He claps, and there's like off to the side of his house, there's a door that appears, and he goes over and he opens it, and there's like a guest room with 3 beds in it.
Oh.
Yeah.
I didn't see that there before.
Hospitality of incredible quality, sir.
Oh, it was magic.
Well,
I
yes,
wasn't planning on it, but here it is.
no, it's the
You are
provision.
very
that
powerful
matters.
mage, sir. I thank you for this.
Yes. You deserve great renown.
If you want it.
I don't, but thank you.
Oh.
Yes. I'm saying he deserves it doesn't mean he needs to have it.
I just wanted to check in case that was something else we could do for him. You know,
Nope.
Of course.
Happy to sit out here and make things explode and bring them back together. Just
fantastic.
day in and day out. Some people might think it's boring, but I find it invigorating.
Oh, what is the point of Albion if not to have
Yes.
Things explode and then bring back together. That's what I've always said.
I was going to say happy
I don't think he was going to
Citizens.
say that, but you know.
pursuing things that they desire, but whatever.
So far in my life, I've met 2 wizards, both made of metal, and both who enjoy just about the same things.
It's
Are you
starting
talking
to
about
line up like a stereotype.
Merlin?
Yes.
Well, who's to say I'm not Merlin?
What the fuck?
It's just here again.
Karis,
fucking
that's
with
what
us.
Karis says.
Well, it would be pretty weird to have you messing
Excuse
with us.
Sir Karis, he forgets himself.
Sorry.
What are you?
He just winks.
The armor winks?
Armor
How
wings?
does it wink?
Yep.
Half,
It does.
half the visor closes.
Yeah, he is not going to elaborate. It winks and
Yep.
then moves on.
Somehow I know that he winked at us. I don't know how. I just know for a fact that he winked at us.
Feels impossible. Like I've just
There's a
witnessed
chill that
something.
goes down your spine that feels like being winked at.
You know that
Do that.
strange sense of confusion and arousal you get whenever anyone winks at you? That's what you feel.
I don't. But
Oh, I feel
Um,
that every time anyone winks at me.
We know, Danny. Moving on.
what do you guys do now? Do you go to your rooms to rest?
I
Yeah,
think so.
probably.
Wonderful.
Our room.
I have a question for Sir Karis.
Oh, do you?
Are there any other are you thinking about anything that's happened in your past?
Yeah, so we know that Karis has doors. I think. Yeah, I talked how I took that. I don't know where has he been. So you're thinking this is the door? This is where it's gonna happen?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think he just straight up ends up in the realm of hell.
Okay. When have you been there before?
Yeah, a couple times. No, I don't know. Because so far the places we've been before,
Camelot.
like in the fiction
Derbyshire.
we've established, or
Yeah.
I don't know about back in the castle might be interesting.
It would be funny.
Can it be that we just heard about Merlin? And
I was
thinking
thinking that
you
as
open
well,
the
I
too.
go
door and
back
it's just Merlin.
Okay, yeah, I like that. Like in like Merlin's room.
Yeah,
Yep.
Merlin's a little.
Yeah,
little
let's do
experiment
that.
Yeah. So the two of you, Sir Gawain and Sir Quintus, you walk into that room and you turn around and Sir Karis is not there.
room. Karis? Was he right
Sir
down there?
Karis, you walk
Could you
through
go
the
tend the
door.
horses?
You walk through the door and you find yourself somehow back in Merlin's room in Camelot.
What the? Quintus. Gawain. Theodore? What
You
this
see
is-
you do see a catatonic Merlin is not moving.
Karis kind of pinches himself a little bit on the side of his face. All right. He'll turn around to the door that he came in through. Is it like open? Can I see through it, or is it closed?
Yeah, it's open. I mean, you tell me how this works. Do you see where you're
I think it's
going to on the other
very. I
side?
think it's very subtle. I think like it's.
mhm.
I like how you explained it. Like I couldn't even see Merlin's room through it, but entering
Yeah.
through that door, next thing you know, I just appear through. So if it's open, I think I would see whatever is actually outside of
You would
Merlin's
see
room.
So you'd see the throne room.
Arthur's throne room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What the? And yeah, I'll slowly approach Merlin in this catatonic state. Hello.
The body is just sitting there, no answer.
Very interesting. All right.
You know what, too? I'll tell you something. Let's add some story and exposition to this. Let's make this important. You can see that Merlin was researching. He was looking up some files. And the file names that appear to you, there are two. One says LOTL Lotl. It's just LOTL.
Lotl.
And Lotl. And then the other one says the fifth word.
The fifth word, like
Mhm.
WORD or WARD?
WARD.
The fifth word.
Yeah.
Okay. Very interesting.
Do you want to do anything? Look into them at all?
Yeah. Before looking into him, I'll sort of look at Merlin's catatonic body and sort of turn his head away a little bit. And then, yeah, I'll definitely look into those. I'll start with Lotl, whatever those files were.
Yeah, you open it up, and a lot of it has been redacted.
A Lotl of it.
A lot of it's been redacted. But what you do pick up is that it's some sort of like temporal techno-magical device. Housed in the fifth ward.
And the fifth word is a district of Camelot.
Is from what it sounded like when Nick introduced it, it's like underneath the city, like.
Oh yes, the culling of the fifth ward.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I picture
It's
like
like
an
a more
underground.
Yeah, it's more like an underground like district of.
Yep, that's what I'm imagining.
Okay.
Sometimes referred to as the old city, but it is.
So there's some sort of temporal techno magical device housed in the fifth ward, and there's nothing else I can gain on Lotl and like what it is, what it does.
You know that it is currently off. You like see mentions of it being turned off and having its power source sent away.
And just away. That just no like mention specifically where, just away.
I mean, it does, but it is redacted.
Okay. All right. Karis will take note of this. Look at Merlin again and be like, this is all very strange. And I think at first he'll just walk and just try to like immediately go through the door he came in from. And I think he just walks into the throne room.
Okay.
It's like, all right. Interesting. And then I'll turn around and just think real hard about going in and ending up in that bedroom.
Yep.
And then this time, it works. And
I would love to know what Sir Quintus and Sir Gawain were doing.
Probably strip him down. I mean, like, well, I was wearing armor. Gawain doesn't wear, obviously, most of his armor is like in his sword, but like, trying to relax. So,
yeah, I think Gawain is like sitting on his bed, just sharpening his metal longsword. Just kind of chilling. I think like I imagine the two of us are just sitting there, like kind of in silence, just kind of doing our own thing.
Yep. And then just appearing in the doorway is Sir Karis.
How'd you do that?
Are the horses all right?
No, he didn't see. He didn't walk through the door. He appeared in the doorway. He didn't walk through it.
No, this place is strange. That's odd.
Yeah, the horses are fine.
Yeah. Oh, all right. Well,
and then Karis will proceed to follow suit, start taking off his armor and
sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Guys bed down for the evening, and we will have to see what adventures come about next episode.
We got some techno axolotls or something. I don't know, man.
Techno axolotls. What?
Yeah, Lotl.
Oh, good. That's a good joke.
Nah, but-
That's a good.
6 minutes of silence. Oh,
yeah, you should cut in just a bunch of silence there.
Yeah, add a bunch more silence there.
Oh man. All right. Well, we will see you next week. Bye.
Bye.
See ya.